In the realm of gaming, few franchises have left as big a mark as Square Enix's Final Fantasy series. Though the detailed worlds portrayed throughout the Final Fantasy franchise have been pretty spectacular, what has really kept this legendary series going is its unforgettable cast of characters, and more importantly, their main protagonists. That is why in this video we'll be diving into the Final Fantasy universe and going over the best protagonists in the Final Fantasy games, starting with Tidus. Final Fantasy X is often considered one of the greatest entries in the Final Fantasy series, and it all hinges on the game's protagonist Tidus. While Tidus is surrounded by a pretty fantastic cast of characters, his story arc becomes pretty complex, especially in his relationship with his father Jecht. Throughout the game, players watch Tidus struggle to earn his father's approval, while simultaneously following in his father's footsteps to save the land of Spira. However, the one thing holding Tidus back is the fact that he shares the stage with some other fantastic characters, such as Yuna and Auron. At times, this can make Tidus feel more like a supporting character in somebody else's tale rather than the focal point of his own journey. While this dynamic adds depth to Final Fantasy X, it does slightly diminish Tidus' impact as the main protagonist. Zidane Tribal. In Final Fantasy IX, Zidane breaks the mold of the brooding protagonist seen in the previous Final Fantasy entries, and instead offers a refreshing change as a light-hearted protagonist. While this departure from the norm was well received, his flirtatious behavior may have been a bit off-putting for some players. Despite this, Zidane's character is remarkably well developed and worthy of a spot on this list. His interactions with the world around him are one of the game's major highlights and help showcase his charm and complexity. While he may not fit the traditional mold of a leader, Zidane's intelligence, loyalty, and overall character make him a standout figure in the Final Fantasy series. Squall Leonhart. Initially, Squall is portrayed as a mercenary driven only by his personal goal of becoming the best. However, Squall's character undergoes a pretty significant transformation throughout Final Fantasy VIII. He evolves from prioritizing personal gain to finding a sense of duty and morality. Additionally, seeing Squall embrace his role as the commander of Balamb Garden further highlights the growth and complexity of his character arc. His ability to rally others and make tough decisions, all while transforming into a character worthy to lead the fight against Ultimecia, makes him one of the best protagonists in the franchise.
I am a shield of Rosaria. And I will do my duty.
Clive Rosfield. Clive faces a different dynamic than most of the other Final Fantasy protagonists in the fact that he is the only real playable character in Final Fantasy XVI, which makes his story front and center. However, this is not the only thing that makes Clive worthy of this list. His family dynamic also adds great depth to Clive's character, including the mistreatment he receives from his mother, which helps drive much of the plot of Final Fantasy XVI. Despite his many heroic qualities, Clive also has many flaws, which helps ground him as a character, making him one of the more relatable and compelling protagonists on the list. LIghtning Farron. Final Fantasy XIII is often criticized as having one of the weaker stories and casts in the series. However, LIghtning is the main exception and stands out as a beacon of depth and complexity amidst what is considered an overall underwhelming game. Unlike many of her counterparts in the game, LIghtning is a multifaceted character with a strong personality and clear motivations. While LIghtning's primary goal throughout Final Fantasy XIII is to save her sister Sarah, her character is not defined solely by this objective. She possesses a drive and determination that makes her journey compelling and relatable. Despite the shortcomings of the game's narrative and supporting cast, LIghtning's well-developed personality shines through, making her more than worthy of this list and one of the overall standout characters in the Final Fantasy universe. Cloud Strife. The most iconic and recognizable protagonist of the Final Fantasy series, has had multiple game entries to tell his story, and it still is not complete. Cloud is an incredibly unique character whose tragic backstory unfolds as the story of Final Fantasy VII progresses. Because of this, Cloud exudes an aura of mystery from his first appearance, which is held together through the supporting cast of characters. As the game progresses and he unravels the truth about his identity, Cloud evolves into a genuine leader, driven by a sense of justice rather than self-interest. His intimate link to the game's antagonist, Sephiroth, adds another layer to his character, which deepens his complexity and makes him all the more intriguing to fans. Cloud's journey from a cold, mysterious soldier to a heroic leader, combined with his personal struggles and connections, cements his status as one of the most beloved protagonists in the Final Fantasy series. And there you have it for the best protagonists across the Final Fantasy games. Thank you for watching Game Rant. Don't forget to check out our other lists, guides, reviews, and more. Game on, and I'll see you next time.